Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Here we're got a brand new episode. Without further ado, let's.
Someone from the desk store doesn't make them just ignore. Someone from the desk store.
What is this? No
Boy, Jesus is really laying into that fig tree.
Yeah, he can get a little moody, but he's got a lot on him. So.
Yeah, it's just one tree though.
Not even the little one.
Yeah, but he's stressed.
He shouldn't be worrying about this. I'm gonna say something.
Not here. Not even those.
I will wilt your ass.
Hey, Jesus, this fig tree thing, really, it's not that big a deal.
Well, it's not just about the fig tree.
Right, I know, yeah. You got a lot on your plate. We can really just take care of the stuff for you.
It's allegorical is what I'm trying to say.
Right, but if you need some figs, if you really need some, we can just go get you some. We can buy you figs.
You want figs? We could go to the temple and buy you figs. Hold on. They're selling figs at the temple?
Yeah, where the court of the Gentiles used to be.
Yeah.
Click Runner and an ever-expanding roster of content, creators, and free speech. Let's hope I hope it goes smoother than yesterday, Sip. Glad we have a lot to get to today. Donald Trump, Times Person of the Year.
Yeah.
Hey, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get into this, not the conjecture of Jay-Z allegedly being, a child rapist. Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a betting man. But we're going to get into some of his history there because a lot of people may not know some of the ins and outs of Jay-Z. And important here, Chris Wray is gone. Yay!
Yeah.
But it also highlights, Hegseth. People are talking about Pete Hegseth right now. A lot of rumors that were circulating, and then of course a lie that came from West Point to journalists saying that he had not actually been accepted into West Point. Thank God he kept his acceptance letter from 30 years ago. But
Probably
it shows
his mom.
you the corruption that you see with not only intelligence agencies, we see that with Chris Wray, we'll get into that, but you see it with the people pushing pencils in our institutions and our military. And in this case, you have military, you have journalists, and then you add big tech. Hey, does this sound familiar? Oh, wait a second. Intelligence agencies, Hunter Biden laptop. That's right. It's Russian disinformation. And then we get to, hold on a second, journalists saying it's Russian disinformation. Then big tech banning it as Russian disinformation and then telling you it's the most free and fair election of all time. So it is this horrible mutant of your institutions actively working against you. So the question of the day, of course, is what's your favorite Jay-Z album?
Mine is the one with Linkin Park.
So's theirs. Jeez. And I get that at some point today when we're talking about Jay-Z, you're probably, if you're watching on YouTube, going to see this. Head on over to Rumble. It's a live show, weekdays 10 a.m. Eastern, and we will be pulling no punches. I am not a Jay-Z fan, and it's going to be a double-barreled, hair-triggered crap machine gun today. Name that reference. CEO Captain Morgan, how are you? Feeling better?
I am. I'm feeling better. I'm not quite completely there yet, but I'm like off cuff drops.
Yeah, this thing has just been going around.
Yes.
It's just been, you can comment below if you've had this. It's just
How are
a
you
weird
feeling?
thing. The only thing I have is a fever and I'm a little bit tired. It just goes up at night and then it's gone. And it's just, so I don't really get sick very often, but it's hard to be around people.
It's true. Any more spiders in your pockets? No.
There was a wolf spider in my jacket. A wolf spider in my jacket.
Surprise.
On the banister is hanging because I always believe one jacket to go walk the dog. It was shake and a wolf spider came out and I will never sleep again. I get their bite is not venomous. There's going to be someone there like, well, it's more afraid of you than you are. Well, I had a funny way of showing it by crawling into my chest pocket.
Must have been warm.
Yeah, I guess.
I just wanted to be close to your heart.
Yeah, exactly.
To kill you.
I had a heart attack. This was a big wolf spider. I hate them. It had a butt like a tarantula. And when you hear this, you know him, you love him. Has obviously firsthand experience with some of the stories today. Saturday, December 14th, he's going to be at Film Alley in Bastrop, Texas. Mr. Firestein, thank you for being here, sir.
Hey, thank you.
Good?
Yeah, this is good.
All right.
This is a nice place you got
It
here.
is a nice place. Spare no expense. Yeah.
I tell you what, I taught my son a good lesson last night to stop being so
Did you
close
beat
to
him?
the TV. Yeah, then I whipped him, but no, he keeps standing right next to the TV. So I was like, all right, we're gonna watch A Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait till we get to that part with a door knocker. Whereas Marley's the ghost.
Yeah. You got scared?
Done.
Yeah.
I'll never do it again.
That was me with the Marley Brothers when it was the hecklers and the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Scared him up. They're scary.
They're
puppets.
scary. They come out of the basement. It's also hilarious. Now, before we move on to anything, look, you be the judge here. There's speculation. I'll provide some substantiating evidence. All references available. Link in the description is every day. Yesterday, so CNN released this really weird video. A lot of people think this is fake. And by that, I mean it's allegedly fake. And by that, I mean it's clearly fake. Clarissa Ward just happened to discover a prisoner of the Assad regime. So watch this and tell me if it feels a little professional wrestling.
I can't tell though. It might just be a blanket, but it's the only cell that's locked. Is he gonna shoot it?
The guard makes us turn the camera off while he shoots the lock off the cell door.
Why?
Is there someone there? Is someone there?
But pause. They're already in the cell. They're already in the Ollie oxen free. And now watch as he comes out from this welder's blanket. Look, see what happens.
The gunshot didn't wake him up.
Yeah. What?
He
How did
tells
you
the
get here?
fighter he's from the city of Humps and has been in the cell for 3
Oh.
months.
Oh my word. Pause. What do you stop at Burberry on the way over? That's the cleanest jacket ever.
That's a Burlington Co-Factory
Yes.
jacket right
Yeah,
there.
That anyone have one of these coats? It is a magnet. It's like you're wearing a Swiffer around your neck. Guy just walked out of the LL Bean catalog. And what do they have just for men? That is a perfectly trimmed beard right there.
Yeah, that's not. I've been in here for 3 months without care.
Yeah. Just think about, by the way, when they're in there, there's a camera. They already blew off the lock with gunfire, and they're in there.
I don't think it actually happened. You don't tell them.
They're in there
turn
with
the
a
camera off?
boom mic, with a line producer, and he's just like, no, I'm counting sheep. What do you think?
Dude, that dome is so nice and shiny and clean.
I'm
He was
sorry.
sleeping on the floor and his head is like Mr. Clean.
Yes, exactly. Mr. Mostly Clean. Let's continue watching. I don't think this passes the sniff test.
You're okay. You're okay. You're
Now that you say so.
He clutches my arm tightly with both hands.
A female.
Mine. Okay, it's water. It's water.
Is this BPA free?
Thank you for speaking my native tongue of English.
Yes.
After 3 months in a windowless cell, he can finally see the sky.
So hand was shaking.
Oh, he's got the little
Thank
goatee
God,
trim right there so you can eat.
he says. Oh God, there is light. My God, there is light.
Usually I would stone you, but today I'll kiss you.
The fighter hands him something to eat.
Now his hands are shaking
Barely
again.
dipped
Shake,
into
gone,
his
shaking.
mouth.
Not proof, but
But his body can't handle it.
After chugging water.
His captors fled during the fall of Damascus.
I don't think he swallowed
No
it.
food or water. That was
Yeah,
at
the
least
water
4
didn't
days
affect him.
ago. The rebel tells him there's no more army, no more prisons, no more checkpoints. Are you serious? He says. Surya Harra. Syria is free, he tells him.
so okay, a couple of things here. And by the way, of course, if it is genuine, and regardless, this guy has been kept prisoner, your heart goes out to him. They said he went 4 days without water. Most people die at 3 days with no water, just to be really clear.
She said at least 4 days.
At least 4
And
days.
they ain't looking thick like that.
Yeah,
no.
Their skin
well,
doesn't look so nice.
To give you an idea, here is a photo of a professional MMA fighter cutting weight for about 14 hours. Look at their face. It's very gaunt.
Wow.
You can see the bones. I know that he wasn't wringing out it, but you do it over time. It's the same kind of effect. Again, the Burberry jacket with not a mark on it. The fact that he didn't wake up from gunfire blowing a lock apart.
It didn't happen. So here's the thing. I'm sorry. At this point, I don't know if Clarissa was in on this or if it was somebody setting this up for her. This is my opinion. That's the money shot. Shooting the lock off of the cell is like, I'm getting that no matter what this guy tells me to do with my camera. And by the way, he makes us turn our camera off while he shoots the lock and you hear him cock it. It's like, that's straight out of a bad movie.
It doesn't make any sense.
Nobody will do that. Like, why? You can't see him shoot the
Who are you
gun?
afraid of? Are you afraid of the government? You just
It
relinquished
doesn't
the
make
power?
any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Nobody
they didn't
shot
have
lock. Didn't happen.
They didn't have the budget for blanks. They also did, before we get to some history on Clarissa knows none of it, they also gave this man a chocolate bar.
Bunny way.
It's the same exact reaction.
Funny way.
Dude, you could tell that that's not somebody who's been starved and thirsted. Like, they don't act like that.
Well, you've encountered this.
Yeah. I've seen people. I mean, I get it. You know, the whole shaking thing that'll happen. But he immediately, oh, look around me. No one does that. They're dead in the face, dude.
Shock.
They're happy, sure, but they're dead in the face. There's no, oh, what? They're gone. No, none of that.
Not kissing the arm of a bony lady.
Yeah, the
of a
shoulder.
bony Westerner.
No.
Oh.
He looks thick. He's got all of his skin's got the color in it.
He was one step away from going, friend.
So stupid.
Does anyone have a lint roller? And in case, look, let me just also add this here to the mix. In case you've forgotten, Clarissa, she has a little bit of a history. So in 2021, she actually went full bore activist because she was so passionate about overthrowing the Assad regime. Here's her, I believe, on an FBI or CIA podcast.
Clarissa, can you tell us about an email that you sent to Ben Rhodes?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I will cop to the fact that I think I crossed the line in Syria. I became so emotionally involved, and I was crushed by the U.S. response and the U.S. policy. Not that I was advocating for intervention, but I just felt that the U.S. policy, and I know, Michael, you and I have discussed this at times in the past, that I felt that there wasn't really a strong U.S. policy, that we had said Assad must go, and then we had done nothing.
Maybe you should bring them all Stofers.
We had said chemical weapons were a red line, and then that red line was crossed, and there wasn't really anything in terms of real repercussions. I wrote Ben Rhodes an email to his official White House account, and I said, "Dear Ben, I hope you're sleeping soundly as Aleppo burns. At least we have the Russians to sort it out. Best wishes, Clarissa."
Oh, yeah, that's the beacon of unbiased journalism that she is. Let me be really clear. I am biased. I'm not a journalist, and we do have Mug Club Undercover here. You know where I line up. My problem is when people are dishonest about it. She has a vested interest. She has a history of being, perhaps some could view it as less than ethical, possibly litigious, so I have to be careful with my words.
Yeah.
Also, this is a CIA podcast, which, by the way, totally inconspicuous sponsor.
This is Intelligence Matters with former acting director of the CIA, Michael Morrell. Brought to you by Lockheed Martin. Your mission is ours.
Well.
How does that even? They don't even sell consumer goods.
No.
It was like Honeywell, like, we build plane engines and go get your air purifier. It's like Lockheed Martin, exclusively government contract. So you have a government working advocate from the CIA, obviously someone who would be entrenched in the deep state, the swamp, sponsored by one of these giant military industrial complex companies, Lockheed Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And she's there saying, and I was trying to influence policy, telling them about, and we're supposed to buy this?
No, you're supposed to go buy their products at the mall in between Williams-Sonoma and Zoomies.
Yes, they have an F-35 display.
Well, they do it the sharper image.
That's very nice.
The cockpit has a massage chair. Look.
For those long bombing flights. It's a fighter. I know. Shut up.
So you guys comment. You think this is real? You think it's fake? And if you think it's fake, if you think it's real, let me ask you this. If you think it's real, do you blame people for not trusting journalists these days? Do you at least get it? Because I know that you watching right now, you may be moderate, you may be left. A lot of you out there, you understand it. We're going to get to Chris Wray in a little bit. Speaking of prisoners, by the way, last night we actually received exclusive audio of the first police interrogation of the CEO murderer, allegedly of United Healthcare, Luigi Mangione.
Hello, Mr. Luigi. How are you feeling?
Luigi, not happy.
Yeah, me neither. So let's get right to it. Did you kill Brian Thompson?
No.
Mr. Luigi, if it wasn't you who did the shooting, then who was it?
Mario.
Your brother?
Yes.
You do realize that a man has lost his life. Do you think this is some sort of joke?
Yeah.
You won't be laughing when you're locked up in prison.
That's more believable than Clarissa Ward.
We found him in a locked cell.
Yes, exactly.
Who knew?
He hadn't had spaghetti in days. He said, "Somebody bring me a mushroom."
Asking for his go-kart. I'm not sure. So.
He began launching bananas in an attempt to get us to slip.
Yeah, something about a princess.
Something about I don't know, dragons with shells.
I swear, those are turtles, are not mine.
By the way, none of this happens. We're going to be getting into some pretty controversial topics.
Fake ID says Waluigi. I'm sorry.
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed Wario.
It wasn't a city bike. It was Yoshi he rode off on.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. None of this happens without you joining. Name that movie reference. Rumble Premium. Mug Club is Rumble Premium. Rumble Premium is Mug Club. Now there's the new promotional mug, the co-promoted mug. When you sign up between now, certainly, and Christmas, just click that button below. $99 annually, $9.99 a month. You wanted an alternative to YouTube. By the way, December 8th, not even election day, Rumble posted their biggest viewership.
6th, yeah, December 6th.
December 6th,
Friday,
sorry.
yeah.
Biggest
Friday.
viewership. They are doing
live streamers. It was, you would think election night's going to be the night. No, they did it election night, then they topped that number right after
They're
that.
growing leaps and bounds.
Amazing.
You need a place that has the infrastructure big enough to work. This is the spot. And if you're watching on YouTube, I mean, that's the spot over there. Rumble. Donald Trump, President Trump, he actually has been named Times Person of the Year. And I believe the New York Stock Exchange, we have a video open their day with a special bell ringing. Was it? Did they ring for Donald Trump or he rang the bell? Oh, that's right. I haven't seen this clip yet. So Donald Trump rang the bell. That's going to be fun.
A little while ago.
Donald Trump.
He just keeps holding the
He
button.
rings it extra long.
That's
Yeah.
right. Make money.
He treats the bell the way he treats handshakes.
He does.
Ding, 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 ding. Stop. Excuse me. Ding, 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 ding.
You have to get a new bell. That bell's crushed.
I know. They're like, do we trade? Do we have to wait to the end?
Nailed it. So media, of course, some people are happy, some people are unhappy. Look, and it's not lost on me that Time Magazine has had like Hitler as Person of the Year, so it's not necessarily an honor. They've had good people, they've had bad people. It's the most influential person. But the way they've handled this, it's time for media malpractice. All right, Donald Trump, Time Person of the Year, and to be fair, right now, this cover is a lot better than the last one. Put them side by side there. Yeah. So they made the M in that logo deliberately look like devil horns. That was a story back then. Of course, people don't necessarily know what they're seeing. Sometimes it's subliminal. Let's contrast that with the media's portrayal of Kamala with a halo over her head. Remember that? These little subtle tricks. That take place.
That looks just like lights in the window, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, for sure. It's a light, but
yeah, they picked that just like, remember, they softened the red glow of Joe Biden when he was speaking in front of the White House. Everyone said this looks like Hitler,
Well,
and they made it
yeah,
pink.
it was somewhere else. It wasn't the White House.
Well, it wasn't the White House?
Philadelphia or something like
Was
that.
it Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You can.
I thought it was Berlin.
Yeah,
you would have been right. Yeah, it looked a lot like it. So,
and the short list included Kamala Harris, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, Kate Middleton, Claudia.
Why Kate Middleton?
I don't know.
Well, she has cancer, I guess.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Less
time to be person of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Noodles. Shame. And Claudia Sheinbaum and going, who? Not a lawyer, the president of Mexico.
Also an accountant.
Yes. Very good one, by the
What,
way.
because she survived the election?
Pretty much.
She ran the numbers, and
the likelihood of surviving the term, not so great. And yesterday,
Yeah.
Donald Trump also announced his new tower in Jeddah.
Oh.
humble.
Wait for it. There it is.
It's like his hairline. It looks awesome.
How do you think he would react if someone forgot to put his name on it?
Fired.
Wait
Go
for
home
it.
to mommy.
Wait for it. Where's me? It's worked. And by the way, it's a it looks like a pretty cool tower.
Very
It's the
nice.
first in a pair of new towers, actually. Next is Gaza, because the land there is dirt cheap.
Mhm.
So we do. Yep. That makes
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Somebody's got to rebuild.
might as well be him. And this is just, look, I also think you're seeing, if you look at, I believe it was 2016, he was Person of the Year, and now the media is backpedaling a little bit because I think they realize now they've overreached. So they tried to make it look like devil horns before.
Yeah.
Like I've told you, everything is going to be a little bit more subversive. Everything is going to be a little bit under the radar. Don't allow them to hide who they are, the left. They still think that way. They still feel that way. They're going to try and appease you a little bit so you go, all right, I guess you're not so bad. No, they are. They're absolutely that bad.
Mhm.
Please do not forget it. They need to earn your trust back. Everyone in media, everyone in the intelligence agencies, everyone at universities, pretty much anyone who works in Washington, D.C., and that includes Republicans. Fair?
absolutely. And they're only going to get more pissed off. Donald Trump, I think this morning, I don't think we have anything on this, so don't worry about it. But he said that he would, I think, pardon or look at pardoning the January 6ers within about the first 9 minutes.
Good.
I believe.
Good.
In the White House.
Good.
It's hilarious. I love it. He's absolutely just poking these guys in the chest.
I'm glad that everyone now is agreeing with that, because everyone was afraid it was that third rail, like, oh, well, January 6th, it was 9/11, the sequel. And we did an entire special. There was a hurricane, so they didn't do the
There was
hearing
a
that
hurricane
day.
in Florida, and so the hearing didn't happen in D.C.
And everything that you have since heard about them being invited in, the footage, even the QAnon shaman, we ran that. First off, we ran it within the week of January 6th happening. And we ran it again. And now everyone feels as though it's safe enough to. But you know what? We sat down and we said, yeah, I get it. We may lose some viewership because right now it's really unpopular to say that most of these people didn't do anything wrong. And seems like the worst crimes were really vandalism, maybe some mild assault. It seemed there could have been one or two people who could be guilty of battery. But at that point, it wasn't okay to say it. And we said, you know what? People are being imprisoned in violation of their rights who literally took part in a walking tour where
terrorism
they were invited in. Yeah.
Terrorism charges.
Yep.
You got to be kidding me.
But you should wage terrorism on crowdershop.com. Go and fill up your cart.
Look at this. This is one of the best new shirts I think we have. Oh,
I got the
there we
logo.
go.
That is pretty good.
I
Don't
love that.
stop believing, baby.
There you go.
Nice.
The bell will ring if you still believe.
Even though there is no South Detroit. That song makes no sense.
Well, it's just a New York boy.
No, this is, Trumpet Claus.
Gotta grab him by the pussy.
No, I don't think you can do that, Trumpet Claus.
I can touch him anywhere.
That's a crime still. Yeah.
Still funny. 30% off site-wide,
30%
right?
off site-wide, no promo code needed. Go right now. Today, really, if you want to be safe for Christmas, order today. I think technically the cutoff is tomorrow,
Okay.
but just order today because you just want to make sure that you get it for Christmas. Makes a great gift. Or you can piss off a liberal relative.
You're cut off for being a used car salesman. Now, Jay-Z. This should come as a surprise to no one. And to be clear, we're not going to get into, we don't have a lot of evidence right now. But there's a lot of evidence as to who Jay-Z is, who, of course, he, along with Beyonce, have been venerated as a power couple of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And this is more proof, yet again, of your institutions lying to you, because you would have to believe that they don't know everything we are about to lay out for you today. But as of this morning at 10:33 Eastern, 9:33 God's time, Jay-Z is the latest rapper to be included in the Diddy baby oil rape saga.
Rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000.
Okay, so to be clear, a lot of speculation, and we will grant that. But the signs were there that we ignored the whole time.
You know I put that roofie in her soda, but now I wish that she was a little bit older, cause 13 is insanely low, and now she might get me back for that sexual assault.
That sounds borderline confession.
I mean, yeah.
So, is it true? Is it true?
That's like Jay-Z's thing.
It is his thing. It is his thing.
Did you do it?
Sing about it. Yeah.
So is it true? We don't know. I will say, always seems a little fishy when someone comes out, 20, 30 years later. But this is an actual example where there could be power dynamics at play when you have someone who effectively controls a plurality of the hip hop record industry. Either way, he sucks because he has a long and storied history of being, my gosh, what a piece of shit. All right. Let's go back to the year 2000. This is the year of the alleged rape right now, as far as we know. Jay-Z was about 30, okay? And that's when he claims to have met and to have started dating Beyonce when she was 18 or 19. That's not a crime, okay?
It's just a little creepy.
But we now have, I don't think it's necessarily 30, 19 at that point. But here's the thing. Some pictures now have emerged of Jay-Z hanging out with and being quite close, chummy, with a 16-year-old Beyonce in 1998. What a piece of shit. At the very least, he was working on her. What's the term, I believe? Grooming at that point?
Yeah.
You think all of a sudden he was like, damn, you're 19 now. Now I think you're hot. You're good looking. Didn't think of that before. Oh, no.
Oh.
No. Grooming. But started dating. Go back. My girls out thing.
She might get.
So
to include Jay is denying allegations.
We now have a long and storied history of being, my gosh, what a piece of shit. All right. Let's go back to the year 2000. This is the year of the alleged rape right now, as far as we know. Jay-Z was about 30, okay? And that's when he claims to have met and to have started dating Beyonce when she was 18 or 19. That's not a crime, okay?
It's just a little...
Either way, he sucks because he has a long and storied history of being, my gosh, what a piece of shit. All right. Let's go back to the year 2000. This is the year of the alleged rape right now, as far as we know. Jay-Z was about 30, okay? And that's when he claims to have met and to have started dating Beyonce when she was 18 or 19. That's not a crime, okay?
It's just a little creepy.
But we now have, I don't think it's necessarily 30, 19 at that point. But here's the thing. Some pictures now have emerged of Jay-Z hanging out with and being quite close, chummy, with a 16-year-old Beyonce in 1998. What a piece of shit. At the very least, he was working on her. What's the term, I believe? Grooming at that point?
Yeah.
You think all of a sudden he was like, damn, you're 19 now. Now I think you're hot. You're good looking. Didn't think of that before. Oh, no.
Oh.
No. You don't hang out with a 16-year-old and then the minute she turns 18, start dating her because you didn't have it in mind, okay? Let's go back to 2017, by the way. This guy also, who often holds himself out as the arbiter of morality, we'll get to his comments on Donald Trump in a second, admitted to cheating on Beyonce. What a piece of shit.
Was that from Becky with the good hair? Who farted there?
And of course, here's the thing. These people who have behaved very horribly. And look, the left wants you, this is why they want you to fracture and divide, because people on the right are imperfect. Sure. Okay. We're talking about a timeline where Jay-Z seems to have never become a good person, but still the darlings of the left, right? They helped Barack Obama. Huge influence. Hillary Clinton. And of course, huge influence with the Kamala Harris campaigns. And by the way, in 2016, Jay-Z referred to Donald Trump quite stupidly. You'll hear his description as a superbug during the campaign. What a piece of shit.
Is, you know, the bugs come and you spray something and then they come and then you create a super bug, right? Because you don't take care of the problem. You don't take the trash out. You just keep spraying whatever over it to make it acceptable. And then, you know, as those things grow, then you create a super bug. And then now we have Donald Trump, the super bug.
I don't think that...
I'm sorry, what was that?
That man doesn't understand how anything works.
Yeah, I don't think that's how bugs
you
work.
know,
They're not
I seen it. Like I spray Raid on a cockroach, and then it became like a super roach.
What is it?
Like a big one, like in Power Rangers.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like Power Rangers.
No, it's like in Men in Black.
Yeah, that's right. Did you mean to say like antibiotics where you develop antibiotic resistance? No, man, I'm talking about superbug.
He was spraying whipped cream on the cockroach.
That cockroach. I was like, bitch, you got a sugar problem. Oh.
Why they keep...
Nope. Right. But the left doesn't really have a problem with that. 2013, the same year that Human Rights Watch documented Cuba arresting any critics of government, right? Detaining anyone who was suspected of being remotely anti-government. The government was controlling the media. They were requiring citizens permission to leave the island. Well, you know, Jay-Z and Beyonce decided to go to Cuba and effectively act as a tourism ad. But then again, so did Barack Obama. So both of them, what a piece of shit. Let's go to his...
I mean, there are times and places.
Let's go to his legal troubles. Again, this does not mean that he's a child rapist. I want to be really, really clear. But himself, at the age of age 12, shot his crack addict brother over a stolen ring. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, was it because he was trying to get him on the straight and narrow? Well, no, because at 13, Jay-Z was allegedly still a crack dealer.
Oh, come on.
So there's that. And everyone will go like, you do what you have to do. No. The problem with this is that's not what you have to do. There are plenty of people in that same neighborhood who decided not to take that path, whether it's a Ben Carson, whether it's someone like a Herman Cain raised in poverty. We don't know Daniel Penny's story. We don't know the story of every union factory worker, anyone out there working in foundries, working on the manufacturing line. It's not, the only way through is not to smoke crack, or certainly not to deal crack. And you know, it's certainly not in the 2000s when there are programs and grants and affirmative, I just sounded like Porky Pig, and affirmative action, social engineering taking place. Take advantage of one of those freebies, Jay-Z. Deal crack. Maybe because it's easier. And instead of saying, hey, I was completely wrong. And by the way, I chose to be I chose to do the wrong thing. And kids, you know what? You could have been in my exact same situation and there are other options. Instead, it's like, I'm not proud of it, but you hustle. No. There are for every person like Jay-Z, there are hundreds who chose not to. It's not a given. And in 1999, Jay-Z pled guilty to stabbing a record executive who he thought leaked his album. I'd say that makes him kind of shitty. 2003, because you say, well, he was just doing it because he was being wronged. Okay, all right, that might make sense. You still probably shouldn't stab someone. Use your words, Mr. Z. 2003, his nightclub, 4040, was sued for bouncing checks to contractors who were hired to work on the club. So he'll stab you if you wrong him. Doesn't seem to have a huge problem with wronging others. That would put you firmly in the what a piece of shit category.
Bounce with me.
Overdraft fees. Oh. Junk fees.
I can't be out of money. I still got checks.
Yeah.
That was a good one, Gerald. I gotta admit, I'm a little dumb. It took me a second. I was like, what? Oh,
it's actually very cutting. Just to give you an idea, this is something that people in the industry have known, right? Here, this is just a funny clip. Shaq couldn't hold it together when Charles Barkley reacted to someone bringing up Jay-Z. Just watch.
You think Jay-Z or probably not a good time right now? You're silly, man. You're silly. Man.
Go see if you can fix the wall, will you,
Fix
Shaq?
the wall, man.
Yeah. Fix the wall, man. See if I can fix the wall.
Too soon, kid.
I love Shaq.
So, does it mean that this is necessarily true? No, it does not. Of course, you're innocent until proven guilty. The issue is with the media covering up and the media doing the bidding of these power couples. Whether at one point it was Weinstein, well, at this point it's Diddy. Of course, you had Diddy on Oprah. You had Diddy doing proactive commercials. You had Diddy running Vote or Die. You had the same thing with Jay-Z. And we're all supposed to turn a blind eye while we condemn people who claim our worldview for being imperfect. So, at the end of the day, whether he did this or he didn't, go check the references and you will agree, what a piece of shit. All right, we are going to be moving on here to, what is that? Huh?
It's not me.
You hear that? What is?
Oh, who's this?
What? Yeah, that's Jack Santa, Gerald.
What?
Yeah, it's Jack Santa right here.
Jack Santa.
What are you doing?
Hanging out.
Okay.
What?
Hush. Hush, little man.
Oh, Jack Santa's got some burn.
Wow,
I'm here to guide you to my wonderful workshop.
Well, yeah, let's go.
Oh,
That's
that's
what you're
awesome.
supposed to do
Yeah,
initially.
dude.
All
Yeah.
right.
We got
Come
a
on.
show, guys.
Can I go? Let's go.
Behold, I bring you tidings of great gains. With Evolution by Jacked Up. Ooh, it's got free weights, an industry-leading stack-loaded Smith machine, ultra-smooth cable pulleys. Oh! Whew. I almost forgot. Santa needs his milk and cookies. Thank you. Delicious.
So you brought us in here just to watch you lift?
Ho, ho, ho. And to show you that the Evolution is the best all-in-one home gym on the market. And right now, you can get everything 20% off at getjackedup.com.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
Bless us, everyone. But can anyone use the Jacked Up Evolution?
Why, of course. Mrs. Claus loves it too. She's gained 2 inches on her glutes.
All right, Jacked Up Santa. Hey, man, really appreciate it. Thank you for the tour, but we kind of got a show to do. So, guys, we need to get back to this.
No, Gerald's right. Gerald's right. In fact, Gerald, I've left you a special present on your desk.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
You deserve it.
Oh, that's a nice.
My desk.
That's your gift, Gerald.
A gift.
It's not a gift. It's a troll job by
Yeah.
Jack Santa, and I don't appreciate
Well,
it.
if you're naughty, you won't make those gains. You won't make them anyway.
Jack Santa left me a gift too.
Really?
Yeah.
She
She autographed it for me.
Nice.
Nice.
Thanks, Mrs. C.
She's quite the influencer. She's going to start an Only Clause. Now,
That sounds like something that people who identify as cats do. It sounds something legal.
it's her star. Never mind.
Okay.
Oh.
By the way, and this is one of those. We have rare sponsors, and this is one of those that I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
I knew about them before they ever came in. Our gym here in the studio was just what we could get at that point from garage sales for basically for free. It is 20% off site-wide right now. Go to getjackedup.com. If you're looking for a home gym, that Evolution is unbelievable. It fits in a garage. Everything faces the front, so you don't have to get around it if you don't have a lot of space. And it's the only one that actually has a functional stack-loaded Smith machine along with being an entire squat rack. You're going to love that.
Very
It's like it's something I've been using, and I mean, it's just the better version of what you see there in the gym. And it has a lifetime warranty. They use good steel, good quality, great customer service. Cannot recommend them enough. GetCheckedUp.com.
Absolutely. Love these guys.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And this brings us to a story that I'm pretty happy about.
Are you?
The FBI director.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, former.
Well, almost
FBI
former. He
director.
hasn't. He's going to resign at the end
Chris
of the term.
Wray. Don't ruin it for me. He announced, Chris Wray, that he's resigning. No. Let me try this again. So,
There goes the second
yesterday, the FBI director, perhaps former FBI director, you say your thing. I say, don't ruin it for me, Gerald.
Hold my beer.
Chris Ray
Tim Curry
announced,
from
and
Clue.
2 minutes clip WKYC, just in case you don't. Chris Ray announced that he is going to be resigning.
Just within the last couple of hours, FBI Director Christopher Wray announced he is resigning. He said today that he'll leave by the end of the Biden administration. His resignation comes after criticism by President-elect Trump, who's already named loyalist Kash Patel.
All right. We changed that last minute. It was going to be the celebration song, I believe. And yeah. And you can shut off the speaker there, Billy the Kid. So it's just, there's a lot of elements. It's not easy. You think Jack Santa just happens?
No.
It's gotta, the elves are on vacation.
They are.
Yeah, if we didn't care about you, we just go, jacked up Santa. I hope that this comes down your Christmas chimney this year. Go 20%. It would suck. The show would suck.
And it can't fit down a chimney.
No, it can't fit down a chimney. Have you seen those side delts? Oh.
Good for you, Lane.
Screw being a dentist. I want to be an oil boy. Now.
That's a good turn.
We don't need any oil boys.
Stay away from that one.
No kid wants to play with a faggot in the box. Hit the dump button. Hit the dump. Oh, like you weren't thinking about the Charlie in the box? He couldn't just rename himself Jack? Shut up.
That's fine.
No, that guy was hiding something. All right. Back to Christopher Wray. He oversaw numerous scandals, or presided over numerous scandals, I should say. You know, the intelligence agencies, who you need to trust, right? It's a very important institution. Chris Wray was there when you had the Russia collusion hoax, which was proven to be false. When you saw the weaponization of the DOJ against conservatives. Remember the Hunter Biden laptop scandal that intelligence agencies said absolutely was Russian disinformation. So big tech banned it as Russian disinformation, which would have fundamentally and single-handedly changed the outcome of the election. The Mar-a-Lago raid, where it's almost like we had an apples-to-apples comparison, and Joe Biden had documents next to his Corvair. And then, of course, 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump. So he leaves. We see him as a very unworthy adversary. It's time to send Christopher Wray off with the time to close.
As far as you know, based on the findings in the Inspector General report, is the FBI, was it part of some deep state?
Well, I think that's the kind of label that is a disservice to the 37,000 men and women who work at the FBI, who I think tackle their jobs with professionalism, with rigor, with objectivity, and with courage.
Time to close. Endings and beginnings are ending and beginning now.
Under my leadership, we elevated racially and ethnically motivated violent extremism to our highest threat priority, on the same level with ISIS and homegrown violent extremists. That I think with respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear.
Okay, so when did you notice his decline?
In my interactions, in my role, all my interactions with the current president have been completely professional.
Would you consider the execution of the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago a raid?
I would not call it a raid. I would call it the execution of a lawful search warrant.
Do you believe the Hunter Biden laptop story is disinformation?
I don't think there's anything I can share on that in open setting.
Time to close. Endings and beginnings are ending and beginning now.
Are you protecting the Bidens?
Absolutely not. The FBI does not and has no interest in
You won't answer the
protecting
question
anyone
about whether or not
politically.
that.
I don't have that in front of me. I'm happy to circle back and get that to you. I don't, as I sit here right now, I don't know the answer to that. I believe we know the answer to that. I just don't have
I
it.
know that it's time for things to close.
And Christopher Wray does not exist in a vacuum, to be clear. And that takes us here to this next story. Hopefully, I've made this clear. I think I have, but the left really wants you to, they really want a scapegoat for the mistrust in institutions. And rather than being the institutions themselves, whether it's the FBI, the CIA, the DOJ, Department of Education, take your pick. They make it you. They make it you. Why don't these institutions are fundamental to the United States of America? I would argue that more fundamental would be the First Amendment, freedom of speech, the Second Amendment, that these institutions have trampled. Christopher Wray doesn't exist in a vacuum, which brings us to Pete Hegseth and the West Point scandal. For people who don't know, there's been a smear campaign on this guy. Now, I can't tell you that I know what's true and what is not true. I will tell you that I don't believe it. Let me tell you why. When they tried to come out with these sexual assault claims, there was no evidence. There were no charges brought. They were trotted out recently. It doesn't even seem like it's possible if you read the story. And so then they start scraping the bottom of the barrel with things that can't be proven. So we'll get to West Point lying and journalists basically engaging in journalistic malpractice. But some of the smears now have gone to, actually, even though you see him early morning every single day, Pete Hegseth, he's ineligible because he has a huge drinking problem.
Hegseth is having to assure senators, as Julie just said, that he won't drink when he becomes defense secretary. That's sort of remarkable that you have to make a promise like that. What's your gut sense here? Do you think he'll actually get through with promises like that?
Well, I think that it's a very interesting term, but it also showcases how important he sees that drinking problem happens to be to a lot of the people who are going to be taking him under consideration, up to and including President Trump. Looking at that, I think that him going out on a limb and saying that he's not going to drink is consequentially, it should be something that is a denier in and of itself, because as far as we know about alcoholism or people who have alcohol problems, and I've had some people in my own family who've had those issues, saying that you're not going to do something that you've been prone to do as a means to get the job, I think is a very bad place to be.
See what she does? She tries to give herself some authority. Because I knew an alcoholic. Yeah, I doubt he's down in Colt 45 before Fox and Friends, sweetheart. Let's be really clear. Oh, why's it got to be Colt 45? Okay, Mickey's. Shut up. I don't care anymore.
Whatever 40 you choose, go for it.
And what's the definition of an alcoholic?
Well, this is the issue, right? The left did this where everyone is a narcissist. If you're successful, you're a narcissist. If you actually have low self-esteem, you're a narcissist. If you drink regularly, but you don't ever binge drink, you're an alcoholic. If you drink occasionally and then you drink too much, you're an alcoholic. If you drink alcohol, you're an alcoholic. So they just broaden the definition.
Right.
Everything is abuse. Everything is, insert whatever today, narcissism. Everything is a red flag. Everyone who drinks is an alcoholic, but wake and bake, right? That's the issue right now.
It's totally fine. I guess.
Fine.
But look, this is their playbook every single time, right? We went back to Kavanaugh, and you just trot out the sexual assault charges, right? You just go, he sexually assaulted somebody. When that didn't really stick with Hegseth, they're like, well, he's an alcoholic, according to unnamed sources that he worked with. Only every person that I've seen come out that he worked with said, actually, I was sitting next to him in the chair for 8 hours a day, and he was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And you know what? There are a lot of parallels between Kavanaugh. Remember, Mission Control, bring up that clip. We'll play it on Rumble Premium after I think it was Cory Booker asking, or someone asked him, do you drink beer on weekdays? That's how you know it's a smear. Hey, you know who else occasionally drinks beer on weekdays? And by occasionally, I mean regularly.
There you go. Why you got to rat me out, bro?
This is the pearl clutching. Yeah, I get it. I'm not part of a power couple who shot my brother for stealing my ring while dealing crack cocaine and stabbed the record executive and groomed a 16-year-old. But I did have a refreshing Belgian triple on Wednesday. So lock me up.
Have you ever taken one of those questionnaires to determine whether you're an alcoholic or not?
Yeah.
I have. It's like all the questions set up to make you an alcoholic so they can give you treatment. It's like, do you ever drink on the weekends?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the weekend sometimes. Do you ever drink on a Sunday? Well, yeah, I like football. I drink do you ever drink in public? Well, yeah, sometimes I go to a football game and I drink do you ever drink at home? Well, yeah, sometimes I watch football at home. Do you ever drink by yourself? Yeah, sometimes I'm watching the game alone.
Yeah.
Do you ever pee in public?
Here's what
sometimes they're
15 questions later, I'm an alcoholic.
And if you don't drink, by the way, don't start drinking. I'm not saying there's any health reason to drink, but it's become this sort of boogeyman du jour now, where it's designed to be weaponized, like we see with the DOJ. It's designed to make you feel lesser than if you enjoy a cold beer. They did it with Kavanaugh, and similar with Kavanaugh. As I get into this story with West Point, and I think it's ProPublica.
Yeah.
Thank God Hegseth kept his acceptance letter from West Point, just like we thank God that Brett Kavanaugh kept a journal that could be verified, right? So
we have the beer clip if you want it too. So
okay, you know what? Here's how. Yeah, let's play this right now because here's how you know it's a smear. Hold on a second. I thought we were sitting down to talk about me gang raping a woman. Oh, we're asking if I have a Heineken on a Tuesday? That's how you know it doesn't matter what you do. They're going to try and make something up. Here's the clip of Brett Kavanaugh being asked if he drank beer on weekdays.
You drank on weekdays, yes or no, sir? In the summer, when we went over to Timmy's house on July 1st, that would indicate yes. Yes, in other words, that July 1st reference to skis, went over for skis, that's brewskis, correct? And after Tobin... Sir, I just need a yes or no. That brewskis, right? Well, I need to explain in context. You just said, sir, that you drank on weekdays. That's all I was looking for. Well,
the only mistake Kavanaugh made is I need to explain in context. No, you don't. Hey, yeah, because you and a bunch of your buddies here in you're going to go to Old Abbott's Grill and have a 2-cocktail lunch. So, exactly. I have a beer or two when I get home.
Kamala Harris pretend to crack a beer on Colbert on a Wednesday or something?
Yeah, exactly.
And she drank it live on TV. By the way, look, if we tell politicians they can't drink their way through their service to the country, a war's going to break out, okay?
They sell alcohol in the commissary, and they can purchase it through tax dollars.
They found cocaine in the White House.
I know.
Yeah. But they didn't find Miller Lite.
Bill Clinton raped a woman.
She wasn't drinking, and neither was he, Stephen. That's the point.
No, it was a cigar.
Yeah, well, he also just dropped his pants with someone who was not even willing. And it's like, we're talking about beer. That's how you know it's a smear campaign. Right? Is it? There was no rape. Okay. Well, then was it sexual assault? Okay, there's no sexual assault. Did he make an inappropriate joke on a video game chat? Then that gets equated with, what Jay-Z may have allegedly done. So let's go through the timeline here with this story, and it tells you why you absolutely should not trust. You absolutely should be skeptical of your institutions, because this combines undoubtedly, I'm sure, people in intelligence, but people in the military, pencil pushers, not the people on the ground. Big difference, delineation here between the people who want to join West Point, people like Hegseth, and the people in charge of acceptance, and the people who say we're going to make DEI one of our requirements, right? Do you guys understand? You can comment below. You understand that difference, right? Because I don't want people to come in and say, well, you should support you have some of those simplistic slogans where it's like, support our troops no matter what. The person lying about acceptance at West Point does not qualify. Timeline, 7:12 a.m., okay? Hegseth posted this on his X. He said, we understand that ProPublica, the left-wing hack group, is planning to publish a knowingly false report that I was not accepted to West Point in 1999. Here's my letter of acceptance signed by West Point Superintendent Lieutenant General Daniel Christman, U.S. Army. So then at 9:10 a.m., and this is the thing too, trust your institutions. Do you ever trust anyone in your personal life who doesn't flat out apologize when they get something wrong? There's a reason that we provide references for you here, and we have an admonish button for ourselves when we get things wrong. We can never be perfect. We don't know how we can do it more honestly than that. We're trying. Do you trust a relative or a friend who always tries to place the blame back on you, back on someone else, while accusing you of being a narcissist or manipulator? That's what the left does. So 9:10 a.m., the ProPublica writer Jesse Eisinger responded saying, Hegseth has said that he got into West Point, but didn't attend. We asked West Point Public Affairs, which told us twice on the record that he hadn't even applied there. Twice on the record. We reached out. Hegseth's Spox gave us his acceptance letter. We didn't publish a story. That's journalism. No, that's called getting caught. Journalism would be revealing or doing your job with the person who did engage in malpractice. In other words, if you have nothing to do with it, you should point him out. This person was, we know it's a lie. Check twice, verified. You either have to believe gross incompetence or that it is a lie. And maybe the reason that you're saying this is journalism and they just made it is because you're involved. You're involved, so you can't rat someone out because you're ratting yourself out. And I'll tell you my heart, because Donald Trump we've been the victim of this, where you know what, you often don't hear the side of other people. They just move on. The people who move on and do good work, they don't get engaged. They don't engage with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's the succubi who decide that they want to deal with internet drama.
Suck you bitch.
Well, speaking of which, perfect segue. Better than the guy who invented the Segway, who segued off a cliff. Poor son of a bitch.
We wish this guy would.
Keith Olbermann.
On accident.
Figuratively.
Of course.
Keith Olbermann replied to Hegseth saying, The left-wing group that incorrectly said you didn't get accepted at West Point was West Point, you PTSD fascist liar. I don't know if at this point he knows that it's a lie. And he's still accusing him of being a... By the way, aren't we not supposed to... What happened to not weaponizing mental health? We need to remove the stigma of mental health. But you're stigmatizing a guy who actually, by the way, has seen the kind of things that may result in PTSD. In other words, it's not someone going, I had PTSD because I didn't get accepted to my safety brown. No, this is someone who likely has had friends die, likely has been in scenarios that would change your outlook, your perception of the world forever. There's a legitimate claim to PTSD. It's over-diagnosed now. So we're weaponizing PTSD against a hero, calling him a fascist liar, when we know for a fact that West Point lied. Maybe he didn't know. Oh, wait. He continued, Keith Olbermann.
The compassionate Keith Olbermann.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're calling the U.S. Military Academy at West Point liars? Why do you hate the troops? Oh, that's right. You have no principles, so it's about authority.
Appeal to
institution.
authority.
Well, to be
Here, I
clear,
can
so
run
he...
this.
There you go.
Hey.
So Olbermann likes the military, just not the ones with PTSD.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So he likes the ones that haven't gone to do anything. Okay, it's hard to it's hard to discern.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's the people in the offices. You're a pussy.
I like to fight him.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Hey, yeah, that's something a fascist PTSD liar would say.
Yeah, and we can make lots of money on it.
Yeah, exactly. This is why don't you trust your institutions? Well, I one of the reasons is because Keith Olbermann says to trust them. In this case, you have an institution, at least one that we know of. Well, two. You have the military institution and you have journalists, right? You have the institution of journalism. Lying, that's one side. And you would have had big tech there, just like with the Hunter Biden laptop story, if you didn't have all of this versus one man, Pete Hegseth, who might enjoy beer on weekdays, but he had the receipts. What kind of a world do you think you live in if he didn't keep a 30-year-old acceptance letter? Hey, he loses a job, and you lose someone who you want at that post. 1:29 p.m., West Point did acknowledge to the Washington Examiner that Hegseth had been accepted. A review of our records indicates, this must have been the third review, right? Third review?
Well, they were looking for Pete before they found Peter.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
the common
A review
confusion.
of our
Yeah,
records.
I got it.
You believe they got it wrong the first two times? Or do you think they got caught? Genuinely, comment below. I am attributing motive in this case.
Yeah.
Because if not, then guess what? We need to completely gut our military and build from the ground up because they are too inefficient to do anything. You think these guys are going to know how to engage in war? You think these guys are going to know how to find the next Osama bin Laden if they can't find an acceptance letter after 2 reviews?
I know.
It takes 3?
I think that I would like to see who these actual people are that are in this office, because it's
PR
likely
department.
that the administrators at the school are not, in fact, military officers or enlisted military folks.
Right. Well, here's the thing what the left does. The journalists, right? The journalistic integrity that you only see in films like Aaron Brockovich, if it has to do with tap water, is they say, I will protect my sources. So they keep those in institutions and positions of power anonymous, but then they sue us to demand that the actual investigative journalists be revealed. In other words, it would be entirely appropriate for this person to not be anonymous because they still obviously hold a position of authority in an institution, which if you want us to trust, we should fundamentally correct and improve. No. Those people remain anonymous. The people actually doing the work on the ground who require anonymity, journalistic ethics, let's finger them. Let's reveal them. Let's dox them.
Sorry.
It's a perversion of exactly. We have a way things should be in journalism. Not everything should be anonymous. And there are cases where, of course, it's required. They want to completely reverse it. So a review of our records indicates Pete Hegseth was offered admission to West Point in 1999, but did not attend. He already said that. Why do you need to include it? He said he was accepted and didn't attend. An incorrect statement involving Hegseth's admission to the U.S. Military Academy was released by an employee on December 10th, 2024. Are they fired or are they still working there?
Are they working in admissions?
Yeah.
Are they controlling who gets to get into this school?
Exactly.
And become leaders of our future military?
Listen, I know it's a high bar.
Yeah.
Keeping track of the people that we say yes to maybe is something that the Secretary of Defense should take a look at.
Let me make it really simple. They're refusing to name the employee that lied to ProPublica. Okay, here's just a first litmus test. Are they paid by American tax dollars? Did they do something wrong? They need to be named, not anonymous. If these are people who are exposing those in power, they should remain anonymous. Does that make sense? Comment below. Oh, no, sorry. what Mug Club Undercover does in exposing the COVID architect, Jay Varma, or exposing the DOJ. That's gotcha journalism. This is, according to ProPublica, journalism.
Right. And by the way, look, if there's a simple explanation, give it to us.
Give it to us.
Fantastic. Easy. People make mistakes. I get it. Antiquated systems, fine. You moved on to some other system. Okay. You didn't do anything. You just said, we're not gonna reveal the source.
That stuff comes up quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's not the antiquated system. This is a straight up a lie because this stuff, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like all the schools in the military have these things.
Yeah.
Some people call them pink slips, stuff like that. Like a Ranger school, personally, you could check if, it was a Ranger. Okay, well, let's call my buddy over at the battalion.
Yeah. It's almost like it's a big deal.
They keep these records and they know where they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's almost like it's necessary to have a functioning military.
It is.
To know if...
It's an Ivy League school, for crying out loud. They've got the admissions records.
Yes. The hallowed halls of West Point.
I don't know. How do I gotta turn on your computer?
Rice!
And isn't it interesting? 2 searches, nothing. And then in just record time, once he had the receipt. Yeah, I'm attributing motive in this case. That's where I am.
Yeah.
This is an indictment of leadership. It's an indictment of our institutions. This is what the election was about. And you are not an extremist, and I won't, you can label me whatever you want. I will tell you I'm not an extremist in thinking that we need to disband the FBI, the CIA, and fundamentally overhaul it. And you know what? Now, let's add the desk jockeys in the military. Hey, if we start looking, maybe here is a good place to start with the $500 billion in annual fraud, vaporized money that we talked about yesterday. $500 billion gone. Well, seems to me that shouldn't some of this money go to a system that you can search like, I don't know, any other employment system ever? And here's something else too. The people who, whose opinion should maybe matter, the soldiers who served with Hegseth, they all, a number of them signed a letter resoundingly endorsing Hegseth. He tweeted this, update, letter from my guys now has 90 signatures. Thank you, brothers. Honored, humbled, and motivated. And you know what? This is why they want weak men. This is why the left, when I say they, bitches about patriarchy, because good men band together with other good men. And that strength that they're afraid of. They want men who hide in the nooks and crannies, who keep those in power anonymous, who obfuscate and do so under the guise of journalistic ethics. Also, funny coincidence, so one of the signatories is named George Floyd. So,
What? St. George?
We'll get to it when we get to it. Free and fair, and none of this happens. By the way, we talk about Mug Club Undercover and the great work that they do. These people actually have experience in investigative journalism. None of it happens without you. Click that button right there just below us just to join Rumble Premium. Mug Club is Rumble Premium. You now get the co-branded mug of Rumble Premium, Mug Club. We really appreciate it. This is what we were always moving toward, and you get everything ad-free. You get this show, 100% more each day. You get the Friday show. You get Nick DiPaolo, Mr. Guns and Gear. Now you have Dr. Disrespect there. You have Barstool Sports. They are adding more and more. It's a one-stop shop. And by the way, to creators out there, the water is warm. I don't know if you know this, but the tip jars out there, the systems that be, they'll boot you. They've done it to us, and they've done it to other conservatives, even though you think they'll kill you last. And we also have a video for those who are Mug Club members, how to connect your account to just switch it over to Rumble Premium. You don't need to go off-site anymore. Just keep watching, which brings us to this next segment that I'm excited about. Because I spent a lot of time, land to the north.
Unfortunately.
And it's a silly place.
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister is just the pits. It's time for No Canada. Yesterday, in just be ready. In the greatest display of national leadership faggotry that I have seen, Justin Trudeau condemned the American people for something, not voting for vagina. Oh, sorry, right clip. But I bet you he doesn't drink beer on weekdays. Oh. Here's the Trudeau clip.
No, it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Trudeau, save some punani for the rest of us.
What women want.
Boy, talk about white knighting. I will forever be a feminist. So you give up your seat? Well, no.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say, and I am transitioning to be the first female prime minister. Is he the first female prime minister of Canada? I don't know.
Certainly be the first female Castro prime minister of Canada. And then in just a display of silliness, the Ottawa Premier, Doug Ford, said that he talked about energy because that's really the only value that Canada brings to the world, let's be honest, that he was going to punish the United States and Donald Trump, their tariffs by basically hijacking Canada's energy exports.
Oh, and the last thing was Olivia Gondak. It says that I wanted to eat her Olivia Gondak. I've never said that in my life to her. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home.
What about drinking and driving, Mayor? What about drinking and driving?
You would never do that? Ho, ho, ho. You're a white guy. Now, and then see, same thing with Kavanaugh, Hegseth. And by the way, he obviously did make some missteps, Rob Ford. But they go, what about drinking? What about, oh, now we move on to the next thing. It doesn't matter. Stop apologizing. You're imperfect. I'm imperfect. It doesn't. Pete Hegseth is imperfect. Donald Trump is imperfect. You're not dealing crack and stabbing record executives and potentially trafficking children. Not all of those are coming from one person, by the way. That was actually Rob Ford. I apologize. The brother. And by the way, the better brother, if you can believe it.